When the Russian mafia does something, it's with Putin's permission, and it's serving his interests.
Have you ever knowingly done business with what I like to call organized crime? Have they ever stopped by
I've
and said...
really tried to stay away from them as much as
Right.
possible. Although I must say, I have met on occasion a few of those people. They happen to be very nice people. You just don't want to owe them money.
Yeah, I understand.
Don't owe them money.
But now...
Semyon Mogilevich, he made a decision to make the move on Trump after studying Trump's 2004 bankruptcy filings. Noticing that Trump had lost his credit lines, they felt he would not be in a position to say no.
A Russian real estate firm, Bayrock, started leasing space in Trump Tower. Putin needs to keep track of his oligarchs, and one way of keeping tabs is knowing where their money is. Bayrock may well have been a way of doing that. To me, that's a turning point, because what we have here is a very serious intelligence operation, and it is in the belly of the beast. It is in the home of the man who becomes president of the United States, and it was operating there for many, many years.
One of the key people putting it together, Felix Sater,
A lieutenant in the Mogilevich crime family.
very connected into the nexus between the Russian criminal organizations and the Russian national security organizations.
He became managing director of Bayrock. He himself had been convicted of 2 felonies.
Slashing a guy's face in a bar.
Another was a pump and dump stock scheme. But he ended up cooperating with the feds, and he started providing information on sales of weapons to Al-Qaeda. Mogilevich, according to FBI reports, was selling weapons to Al-Qaeda. That raises very interesting questions, because I don't think Felix Sater would betray Mogilevich. He famously threatened an investor with electrocuting his testicles. Trump worked with Sater for many, many years after it was revealed that he was a criminal. He continued to work for Trump and, in fact, had a business card saying that he was a senior advisor to the Trump organization.
There's multiple photographs of the two of them together. He had an office in Trump Tower.
Trump was the public face of Bayrock.
And yet when he was placed under oath in a deposition and confronted about Sater, he simply says...
If he were sitting in the room right now, I really wouldn't know what he looked like.
Trump actually personally asked Sater to escort his 2 children, Ivanka and Donald Trump Jr., on a trip to Moscow and showed them around the town.
He seems to be playing a consistent role in assisting the Trumps in tapping Russian, or let's say post-Soviet, money. For developing condominium units, no co-op board has to review whoever is buying. It's safer than putting it in a bank.
The Sunny Isles development is the Florida development that the Trumps own that has been heavily populated by Russians who want to launder their money.
At least 1/3 of the condos in Sunny Isles, Florida, have been sold to Russia.
Trump Soho is one of the promoters of the project. Alexander Mashkevich has been described as Mogilevich's banker. The Trump Tower project in Baku is located in the middle of a post-industrial sledge pool. It's just sort of a joke that they were building this.
Trump World Tower, I started looking at who bought into it, and the very first name I came across that was Russian was that of Eduard Nektalov. He'd been indicted for money laundering. He turned state's evidence and was going to cooperate with the feds. He was murdered the next day.
The Toronto Tower, the source of funding was Vinesh Econom and Vinesh Torgbank, the 2 twin cash management tools of the Kremlin. They go out and become involved in projects, usually because one man, Vladimir Putin, tells them to do so. That would link this project straight back to the Kremlin.
I think this is the tip of the iceberg. There's been $1.3 trillion in flight capital since Putin's become president. There are over 30 Trump Towers all over the world. That means there's several thousand units. So many condos that journalists like me have been unable to investigate because they are in shell companies.
Shell corporations, where law enforcement and the public and the press can go and see what the name of the corporation is, but they can't find out who's really behind it, what's really going on, who's pulling